It's potluck season, and whether that means you are having an office event where everybody brings food and even has a sign-up sheet so nobody duplicates, it is that time of the year. Or if you're going to a friend's, these are going to be 3 recipes, my go-to favorites for those type of events where people all bring food together and share with one another. I have 2 appetizers and 1 dessert, and these are the ones that people usually ask for the recipe at the end. So I really think these are going to be hits when you share them at your next potluck event. All right, let's get into it. But before we do, if you haven't yet subscribed, go ahead and click that subscribe button. I would really appreciate it. I would love to have you as a part of this community. All right, let's get into the kitchen. Let's get started. I'm starting with my most favorite side dish for a potluck, and that is this corn casserole, or you might also hear of it called corn pudding. It is so good, and I get asked for the recipe for this all the time. It's just 5 ingredients. I start with 1 stick of butter that I melt into my classic batter bowl by Pampered Chef, which is great because you could do all the mixing and the melting in the same bowl. Then I add my corn muffin mix, and this one's from Aldi, but the key here is to have it with the honey. That really makes that extra sweetness, and it's perfect with this. If you don't have the mix with the honey, then just add a tablespoon of honey to your mixture. Next, I'm adding 1 can of cream-style corn and then 1 can of whole kernel sweet corn that I've drained. And I'm going to mix that together along with 1 cup of sour cream. And I'm going to mix that all up until I have the consistency of like pancake batter. Next up, I'm cracking and beating 2 eggs that I will add to the mixture. And those are your 5 ingredients. You just want to mix this all together, getting those eggs incorporated well. And now it's ready for your baking dish. I'm using my 2-quart enameled baker from Pampered Chef. I love how it looks in this, and it retains that heat so nicely, so it's perfect for taking to a potluck. I'm going to bake it in my oven at 350 degrees for about 40 to 45 minutes. And you know it's done when it looks like this with the perfectly brown edges and the beautiful golden color. And it smells amazing. This is going to be a hit at all your potlucks. Up next, I'm making another dish that is always a winner, and that is meatballs. I have made many variations of meatballs, but this one is a crowd favorite because of the perfect combination of sweet, tangy, some smokiness, and a little bit of heat. I start with my Rock Crock Everyday Pan by Pampered Chef on medium-low heat, and I have half an onion that I've finely diced, and I'm sauteing that in a little bit of oil. Then to that, we're gonna add 2 cups of ketchup, 1/3 of a cup of brown sugar, 1/4 of a cup of our cherry preserves. You can also use grape jelly or fig jam or any other preserves you like. We're going to add 2 tablespoons of Worcestershire sauce, apple cider vinegar, that's 1 tablespoon, and 1 teaspoon of Dijon mustard. I have smoky barbecue rub here. I'm adding about 1 tablespoon, and then some red pepper flakes for that heat. You can put in as little or as much as you like. I tend to lean on the less spicy side, so just about 1/2 teaspoon. Get that all to a boil. And then you're going to add your meatballs right in here into the mixture. I like these meatballs that are the pork and the beef mixed together. They have a better flavor, and I usually get them from Sam's. You can also find this combo at Aldi sometimes. But these are the larger meatballs, and I mix them all together with the sauce. This is why I love the Rock Crock by Pampered Chef, because I can take this pot from the stove right to the insert of my slow cooker, and it's gonna finish cooking. I love how those flavors are gonna be so good with the meatballs once they're defrosted, and that sauce is gonna get all mixed in there. I'm gonna add my lid now and let that finish slow cooking, and this is ready to take to the potluck. I add them to my utility tote, which is my favorite bag for transporting. But before we do, we have to make a dessert. My favorite dessert to bring to a potluck, it's Snickers Salad. Now, it may not resemble a salad, but it does resemble some wonderful flavors that are usually such a hit at any potluck I bring it to. And it is going to start with the fun-sized Snickers. I went ahead and chopped those up into little pieces. I left a few for the top that I'm going to crumble after everything's assembled. Granny Smith apples, so that tartness with that sweetness is what makes this a wonderful combination. And for our whipped mixture, it's going to be cream cheese, half a cup of powdered sugar, and a cup of heavy whipping cream. We're gonna get that all mixed together and it will be a hit today at the potluck. My cream and my sugar get added to my stand mixer, and I'm just gonna whip that until stiff peaks are formed. I removed the whipped topping, put it in a separate bowl. Now we're ready to whip our cream cheese. I just mix my cream cheese until it's smooth, and then I'm gonna add the whipped cream mixture back in and get everything to a perfect smooth consistency. I used my Pampered Chef apple corer, and now I am cutting my apples into slices, and we are going to chop those into bite-sized pieces. 2 to 3 small Granny Smith apples is all it takes for this dish. I leave a few of the chopped apples for the top, so I'll leave those to the side. If you want the dish to be a little more sweet than tart, of course you can use any apples you choose, but I really like it with the Granny Smith. I'm gonna add all my apples into the whipped topping, and I'm also gonna add all of my chopped Snicker bars, and that is pretty much it. Once I mix it together, I'm gonna put it into a glass bowl for presentation, but this is ready to serve. Once I get there, I will sprinkle on those apples and those Snickers on top, and I even had some homemade caramel sauce that I drizzled on top for the finishing touch. Our office potluck event had so many great things. Look at the meatballs, and then I also brought on this occasion the sausage rolls with German mustard. You've seen me make these before in my videos, and I have the recipe below if you want it. It is in the description box. I love potlucks because we get to enjoy each other's cooking and homemade recipes. Thank you so much for watching, and whether you have a potluck or you're just making these for your own event, let me know. I would love to hear how you enjoyed them. Thank you so much, and I'll see you on the next video.